Well, I do enjoy teaching. Something that I'm passionate about is showing new agents how to prospect in our business. I think that's, a little bit about the trouble that a lot of people have in our business is finding clients to work with, right?
Mhm.
And it is probably the hardest source of business to work from. It's very challenging, but there are ways to crush internet leads, and I've had a lot of experience with them. So it's something that I feel like I can provide value to the other RE/MAX executive agents. All right. Well, I think I'm going to just go ahead and get involved in here. Okay. So my name is Sandy McAlpine. I am the broker in charge for Cornelius office in Lake Norman. I also partner own with Hadi, the Cornelius and Mooresville office locations. And like Haley said, I am expanding an expansion team in the Myrtle Beach area. Just bought another house there. So I'm super excited. I joined CCAR there and just started selling in that location as well. So right now we're in North Carolina, and it's kind of funny because in the morning it's super cold, and by the end of the day, we're all in our flip-flops and bathing suits. A little information about me. Like I said, I'm passionate about teaching agents conversion, working in a database. I do have over 22 years experience converting online leads. I did convert online leads for other businesses, and also during the recession, I brought over 40,000 leads from all types of sources in my career. And I had started real estate in 2005 as a solo agent. I've run my own brokerage, and the rest of the time of my career, I have been with RE/MAX in some form or fashion. I've been partnered with RE/MAX executives since 2010. Right now, I have 17 people. We average working 300 leads a month, and we've been a diamond team several years in a row. We've been really close to Pinnacle, but even when we were close to Pinnacle, we actually only had 12 or 13 people working for us. And not everyone on my team takes leads. So that's something interesting to know. I've lived in North Carolina since 1993, and I'm super excited to share with you guys. So what makes me qualified to teach you this class? I've sold over 1,000 homes in North Carolina, hundreds of millions in volume closed. I've trained hundreds of agents on different topics. I've been a broker in charge for 18 years. 6 of the years outside of that, I was in lending, credit processing, and credit signing. And I was also a real estate paralegal, and I closed 30 to 100 transactions a month working for an attorney. So I'm also licensed in 2 states, about to be licensed in Florida. My designations are many. I love learning, and a lot of them have helped me in my career over the years, and the associations and networking that they've provided have been substantial for my business growth. I've also served on multiple MLS committees with Charlotte Regional and also the executive board. I was the education director for North Carolina, and I put on classes for CRS. And I planned over 340 events and charity events in my 20-something years. I do have a bachelor's degree with a marketing concentration. Something I'm very interested in is marketing. I am a certified negotiator, a member of RE/MAX Elite Club, and a Zillow Flex team. Zillow Flex is, they only have 400 and some odd partners of the entire USA. We do not no longer have to pay for leads. They actually give us the leads for free and require a success fee on the back end, which is similar to a referral fee if we close it. But they actually know that we're so good at conversion that they allow us to be in that program. So you have to qualify with the amount of conversion that we do. So one of the things that I always say is consistent actions equal consistent results. And we've been a diamond team multiple years in a row. Probably could have been Pinnacle before now, but I had to decide to grow and scale myself. Cycle of a lead. So obviously a lead comes in, we buy leads. The majority of the time that you spend on leads is actually in the follow-up and the client experience. Converting and contract just are outcomes of the follow-up and client experience. So I had some little funny slides on here. Zillow gets a lot of flack online. A lot of people make fun of them, the Zestimates and the leads that people get. A lot of times agents say You know, I get these leads, but they really suck, right? You know, it's like 123 Main Street. I get that same lead all the time, or you might get 10 leads with the same address. Here are the types of lead sources that are the most of the leads that we see today as real estate agents. Zillow, Zillow Flex, Realtor.com, Agent Pronto, Ideal Agent, Veterans United, Land Voice, Redx, Facebook ads, Google pay-per-click or AdWords, Google LSA, local service ads, Remax.com, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and HomeSnap. There are many, many more. There are so many programs that you can be involved in that you can pay for. However, these are probably the bulk of, 80% of the leads out there that agents are paying for or getting. And a lot of these have turned to referral fees, right? A lot of these companies have decided to get licensed in 50 states, and they would rather have a 25 or 30 or 35% referral fee from you rather than just sell you the leads. So they're looking for top converters to give their leads to. So if you can't convert anything, they'll drop you from the program pretty quick. So kvCORE, Remax has graciously signed an agreement with kvCORE and brought on one of the best CRM platforms you could buy on steroids with almost every feature added. It would cost you almost $4,000 as a team if you wanted the kvCORE team platform. And it is so impressive. There's so much you can do with it. For some of the seasoned agents that don't feel like they need all those things, that's great because you're not paying for it. It comes to you for free. And you don't have to use all those features. That's the beauty of it. You can use as little and as much as you want. But technically, it can just hold all of your clients' data in one place. It holds all the data. It's called a database. And it allows you to perform specific actions to help you organize your prospects, be more efficient with your prospects on how often you're contacting them. You'll have better time management, and your clients will be impressed with how much you're reaching out to them. There are so many cool automations that it makes it look like you're everywhere and anywhere. Okay, so you're out showing property, and kvCORE is working its magic on your database and making sure that it's keeping you top of mind. There are so many things. And I know a lot of you guys probably don't watch all the Zooms that Anna puts out, but let me tell you, when you get slow, take the time to go in there and watch some of those videos, because some of the things that kvCORE can do can absolutely blow up your business. Okay, so you have to be insanely obsessive with Followup. You have to remember that you are paying anywhere from $10 to $250 a lead, some cases. I don't care where you buy it from, you're paying. And these people, these prospects, have gone online and put their information in. They've put a phone number and an email address on some, landing page, questionnaire form. Maybe they just want to see more pictures. I'm really not sure. But either way, they put their information. They shouldn't be surprised that someone might reach out. Okay? There's a reason why people have an intent to go online. They're online for something. They're curious. There's a lot of reasons. But they could have been abandoned by their previous agent, which happens all the time, you guys. I want to tell you, like 30, 40 of our deals this year, those folks had an agent and they didn't call them. They called Zillow. Why? They don't even remember their agent's name. The agent didn't follow up after the sale. I think Jared James said every potential past client is worth like $120,000 of lifetime of sales, right? So keep up with your past clients, right? So use the kvCORE database to make sure that your monthly email is going out to them, or your monthly video, or however you want to do it. Because it takes 12 to 17 times for a person to see your marketing to remember that you're a real estate agent and for you to stay top of mind. 12 to 17 times on average. Same with commercials on TV. You've seen commercials and you know that they repeat them over and over and over because they want to make sure that you remember the jingle, or whatever it is that that brand is trying to impression upon you. So loyalty, remember, they might not even remember who their agent is. So when you buy these leads, you really want to get in front of them. They need you. You have to have the mindset when you're following up that these people need you. They are wandering around on the internet. They don't know what they're doing. They need your help. You need to get in touch with them because they obviously need your consultant and real estate advice. Because if it's not you, who's the most experienced agent on the planet, our RE/MAX agents, if it's not you, it's going to be some other person that picks up the phone and calls them. So remember, you have to remind the prospect sometimes when they, you call them and they answer and they're kind of like, oh, they're taken aback, like, oh, why are you calling me? Well, hey, you put your information on this XYZ website. I'm just calling to make sure that I get you the information you requested. I remind the prospect. So, they have to be told sometimes, oh yeah, I did that. That's correct. I did that last night. So there's a story. It's the black house, white market example that I use a lot of times when I'm teaching agents. When you walk into the black house, white market, they are known for being like obsessive, like bringing clothes over to you, right? They ask you, oh, you walk in the door and you right when you walk in, somebody says, hello, miss, how can I help you? Can I help you with anything? And you might just be browsing. You're not really sure what you might need a pair of pants, but you're not sure what you want, but you want to look around first and you kind of want that person to leave you alone. So you end up saying, oh, I'm good, thank you, no thanks, right? And these ladies make commission generally at Black House White Market. So they're watching, they're following you around the store, watching to see if you pick up a shirt or a pants or something, because what do? They say, oh, can I start a dressing room for you? They come over like right when you pick up your first piece of clothing. And it's almost like they know, like they're visionaries and they can see what's happening, And then not only do they get the pants and take it over to the dressing room and get you your own personal dressing room, they start bringing over the shoes and the blouses and everything that go with it because they want you to have the whole outfit experience. So in real estate, you have to remember, when the person first goes online, they're just kind of browsing around and you're like, you call them up and you're like, hi, this is Sandy from RE/MAX. How are you? I want to sell you a house. They're like, oh, wait, I'm not ready. I'm just browsing. I'm just looking. Leave me alone. But you have to hover. You have to hover like a crazy person until they are ready when they do want to not only look at one house, but you want to show them 5 houses, right? You don't want to just door open one. So you have to be a consultant. You can't just sell them the pants. You sell them the whole outfit. But in order to do that, you have to just sort of be creepy and be around all the time. You have to constantly be following up so much that they're almost to the point where they're like, listen, when I'm ready, I will call you back. And, I know that sounds like you don't want to be annoying, but people do value the fact that you're staying on top of it. They don't get as mad as what you think. And you know what? If they tell you, hey, just don't call me for like 3 months. Okay, is it okay if I check in 3 months? Yes, great. Awesome. Now you have permission. So, okay, it's great. You've talked to them. So generally speaking, and most people don't realize this, the life cycle of a lead to buy is the average is 12 to 18 months. So the leads you buy today aren't going to buy until next year. It's once in every 100 that might buy this weekend. So you can't expect to have 2 conversations and have a bunch of sales. It's just not going to happen. So you're following up with these leads for a year or more. So after 3 months, when some of you guys buy leads and after 3 months, you're like, Sandy, these leads suck. I'm like, well, how long have you been buying them? 3 months. How long have you been keeping up with them? Oh, well, I've called them a couple times and nobody answers. Okay, well, when you call them 20 plus times or after you make 1,000 phone calls, then talk to me. 20 times, 20 attempts is the new average these days for the teams. I just went to Followup convention, 20 attempts. So top ISAs in the world are calling 20 plus times. So volume, it's a numbers game. You cannot just buy 10 leads and think that you're going to make millions. It's not going to happen. You got to buy a lot of leads. So cost per lead is really important. And you need to have 25 2-minute conversations a week and your business will blow up. So go after the conversations. Don't necessarily, it could be, for some people, that could be 100 calls. For other people, it could be 400 calls. I had an agent on my team this week, just start. He made 440 calls or some odd, and he got a listing and a buy appointment. And these are leads that are 2+ years old. You should time block 2 to 3 hours minimum a day. And I always say, choose your hard. Okay, so you could be doing this, or you could be making videos of yourself and TikToks and whatever, and pray that somebody calls you to sell their house, right? Or you could be putting door knocking, or you could be doing open houses every weekend. So it's the same time frame. It's the same time, whatever you choose. This is just one pillar of business. So yeah, so there's a lot of memes about sales calls. But guess what? When you buy leads, these people have an intent. You're not making cold calls. The belief that these are cold calls is a lie because these people put their information in on a website. It's not cold. It's warm or hot. They showed intent. You're not just, a cold call would be calling someone out of the phone book or Red X maybe. So forget your excuses. We're not going to say the real word, that is, but if you guys know Pinnacle, Remax, it's at least $2 million gross commissions. I've had the pleasure of meeting Quintavious Burdett. He's with Remax. He is now in his going on his fifth year in 2024 with Remax. By his third year, he was chairman's the first year, 500,000 and up, hit diamond the second year, and the third year he hit Pinnacle as a solo agent. Rookie agent. And he's one of 17 kids. He tells you in all of his presentations, he's also an elite club member. He did not know anything about real estate. But there's something that he does that is unique, but not unique. It is unique that he learned this at a very young age and put it into practice. He is not afraid of the telephone. Would everyone like to know what Quintavious does? Would that be interesting to you guys? He had no fear, by the way. Zero. Well, this is his schedule. He sent it to me. He makes 1,000 phone calls a week, and he makes cold calls. He doesn't even buy leads. He makes cold calls. These are people that don't know he's calling. He's literally calling the tax records, not something that you or I probably would like to do or want to, but this is how he makes 2 plus, actually he did like 2.4 million, I believe. He makes so much money, he has to give it away to charity, and he goes broke every single month. He's almost up to 30 rental properties. He takes all the money he makes and buys rental properties with it, because at some point he's just going to quit and own cash rental properties all over the United States. He's now licensed in like 3 or 4 states. Now this is bad, right? This is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome that he is able to follow a schedule. It's so very simple. It's not that hard. And he plays video games. I don't know if one of you guys saw anywhere on these. He does, it's not on this one, but whenever he says he's resting, he's playing Fortnite. Come on, you guys, like super fun guy. I love him. Okay, so you are 90% lead rolls, 90% more successful if you call, text, and email within the first 5 minutes of the lead. Come on, 1 minute. Make it a competition. The longer that the time goes by, the less chances you are going to get in touch with a person. Hey, look, if they reach out at 3 a.m. and you're up, text them. Hey, I'm up too. Would you like to see a house tomorrow? You'll be less than 10% if you wait an hour. But don't give up. If it's been an hour and you were in something, in a sales presentation, listing appointment, whatever, still reach out. Just give it your all. Do whatever you can. Be obsessive. You're trying to help them. Set them up on listing alerts. Even if you've never talked to them, go ahead and set them up for what they wanted. 12 attempts the first week. I know it sounds like a lot. If you still don't get in touch, call 3 times in a row and hang up. Don't leave a message. Just call back. A lot of times people will answer because they're like, oh, this must be important. A lot of people will not answer a number they don't know. So call. If it goes to voicemail, hang up, answer, or call again. If they hang up before the voicemail and then call again, they will pick up. I know it's crazy sounding, but it works. ISAs use it all the time. 2 to 3 a week for 30 days, more attempts. And after that, put them in a pond and start them on a drip campaign. Send them your monthly video and send them your monthly newsletter. Make sure you're staying in top of mind, because remember, in a year, they'll finally be ready. They'll give you a call when they're ready, or you'll be calling them once a month and still trying to reach out. And eventually they'll say, you know what? I'm finally ready. I've been getting your emails for a year now. I think the one that I've had was the longest was I was sending her like snapshot reports for 7 years, and she finally called me and I sold her a property. So what do I say? You say the script. So the script, here's the script, and this will be recorded so you guys can have this. It is ALM. Zillow does millions and millions and millions of dollars of research on what works. They've had an AI robot listen to millions of phone calls, and they know what questions to ask and what not to ask to secure an appointment. Why are we all here today? Because we want to know how to secure an appointment. It's not to sell someone anything over the telephone, ever. You're not selling yourself. You're not selling the house. You're actually just trying to meet the prospect in person. Generally speaking, probably 90% of the time, the person is never going to buy the first home they see, ever. So it's basically you are interviewing for the job on the first home appointment. ALM, appointment. You are asking immediately when you get that person to answer the phone, you're like, hey, I saw that you inquired on 123 Main Street. When would you like to see it? Bam. Identify the property, set the appointment. Hi, how are you doing today? This is Sandy with RE/MAX Executive. Make sure to identify yourself. I saw you were inquiring on 123 Main Street on my website. You connected with me on my website last night. When would you like to see it? Okay, great. I see that this house is in Cornelius. I'll try to secure the appointment Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Awesome. Are there any other homes you've been looking at online in Cornelius? Are there any other areas are you considering? The reason that you want to not just set the one appointment, you want to set multiple homes appointments is A, when you get off the phone, that house might be under contract or have an offer on it. And that would be a really big letdown if that was the only appointment you got. Two, you want to buy in that now you're not just a door opener. You're not just a waiter or waitress. You're just not going to go open the door and say, here you go. You're now a consultant. You're showing them multiple homes. You are not just here to be a key. So ask them what other areas they're looking. Try to identify what they're looking for, what type of house they want, and why they're looking in those areas so that you can actually come up with some other ideas to show them homes. Because remember, they're probably not going to buy the first home. So don't be a one and done agent. They probably went through another 10 Zillow agents before you, just opening a door, and they don't know how buyer agency works in our state. Motivation. You have to find out, why are you moving? When are you moving? What's your time frame? Those questions. Why? What is going on in their life what interested them about that house online that they called you today, or they put their information in our website that they were more interested in the property. Why? There's a reason. You got to find it. And they're not going to just they don't always tell you it. You got to dig. It's kind of like being an investigative reporter. I always tell everyone on my team, I am ridiculously nosy. I will ask 100 questions. So additional questions. You paid for the lead. I remember years ago when I was a big realtor.com, paid them a bunch of money. I remember the training lady said, you want to contact these people so much because you paid all this money, hundreds of dollars for these leads, thousands of dollars. You either want to get in touch with them or you want them to file a restraining order, one or the other. But you paid for their info and they opted in. So a lot of you guys don't understand. These people opted in when they put their email. So they can be mad. Some of them like, stop contacting me, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, well, I'm contacting you because you put the information on the website. I'm trying to help you. And then they're like, oh, or blah, blah, blah. They get all stunted because I'm like, you're the one that went on this website, not me. Control the call. Do not let them control the call. So they can ask you all kinds of questions. Does the upstairs bathroom have a window? I want to know if it's feng shui. Does it face south, east, west, north? Is there a third garage? How big is the yard? All these things that Zillow tells you, don't answer those stupid questions on the telephone. You are not a Google search. Don't be that person. Tell them, oh, that's a great question. Is it gassy? I don't know, but I'll find out for you and I'll give you a call back after I set our appointment. So control the call. Get back to ALM. Don't answer a bunch of dumb questions that they could find out online anyway. Identify yourself. Make sure you say Sandy with RE/MAX at the end of the call. Hey, just by the way, don't forget, I'm Sandy with RE/MAX and I'm going to text you my personal cell phone after this and my contact card or my V card or whatever, because kvCORE, you can do all that kind of stuff. And ask 3D. Don't take the first answer that they give you as face value. So we want to know their intent and readiness. That's the whole entire goal, is what are they trying to do? You can't be worried about making a sale. You can't be worried about the outcome. You just have to be worried about whether or not you can actually help them, right? You don't want to work with people that just want to look at houses for fun. You actually want to work with people that are going to buy or sell, right? So you're honestly pre-qualifying them on the call. It's kind of crazy to think about this, but you're pre-qualifying, what other houses have they seen? Have they seen any other homes? That kind of thing. You want to know if they're just messing around on the internet. You want to know if they're just looking for a home value for theirs and they're just clicking on things. You want to see if they're just curious. Why are they curious? Ask more questions, not just say, well, they say, oh, I'm just curious. I would say, okay, why are you curious? Oh, I'm just messing around. I just want to see more pictures. Oh, what made you click on the house today? I'm not accepting that answer. I want to know why, the real why. They're not just that bored, okay? Well, sometimes they are, but this is their mind, right? This is their mind. They want to shut you down because they're not quite ready to look. So a lot of times you get the door shut in your face and you get these horrible answers and you don't know what to do. And you're like, oh, they're not ready. And you get so disappointed and you're like, oh, these leads suck. They're just not ready. There's an intent. They're just not ready. So psychology of the prospect. What are they trying to do? How can you help them? When do they need your help? And using video and FaceTime tours to speed this up. So NAR says 87% of buyers bought with the first agent they met. Regardless of experience, who you were, anything. So Zillow knows this. And they are speed to the appointment met, appointment set, appointment met is huge. Like, we're held to that high standard. They want us to get that appointment. If our appointment rate starts dropping, we get in trouble. So realize that if you likely meet the prospect in person at a home, they're probably going to hire you as their agent. So the goal is to try to meet them, whether it's a buyer consult at the office or at a home. When they can't see you, you're not real. You're just behind a computer, and there's no loyalty established. When they meet you, there's some type of loyalty that's established. I know that sounds weird. That's just something I realized over the years. And so the way you can do this when someone is not in state and they say, well, I'm not here, I'm in Michigan. Okay, great. I'll go FaceTime video the house that you're interested in. I'll make a virtual appointment and I'll show it to you. This is how you can get your face and their face together. You're still showing them and you're still a real person on the other end. You're not behind a computer. Now you're a little bit more real. And wow, you went out of your way to go show the house to them on FaceTime. They give you loyalty for this, you guys. So some of the objections we see and hear over the telephone: interest rates are too high. I'm not ready. So you gotta be up on your objections. You know what? The interest rates have been this high before. It's not stopping people. People are still buying and selling homes. What kind of payment are you looking for? Do you have a house to sell? Or how much down money are you putting? Are you putting a lot of down money? We might still be able to find something with a payment budget that you have in mind. Do you see where I just got off the interest rates? What is it they're trying to do? Are they trying to, does that mean when they say the interest rates are too high, does that mean that they think they're going to have a large payment? Maybe they won't. Maybe we can buy down the rate. Maybe we can sell new construction in Troutman for 4.5% and all their closing costs paid. There is a real neighborhood doing this, $389,000. I know they might not want to think, they might not want to live in Troutman, but it's temporary. They can buy there. It'll appreciate the next couple of years. They can sell it, make some money, and move closer to Charlotte. I'm not ready to look. Okay, awesome. Why are you not ready to look? What made you start your journey on Zillow or Realtor or whatever the website is? I'm looking for someone else. Oh, you are? Who are you looking for? Every time they tell me something like this, I'm asking more questions. Oh, you're looking for your daughter? Is she moving here? Does she live here already? Is she renting? Like, see, I just go down the rabbit hole looking for the real answer. I don't know what I'm doing. We get this a lot. They don't know what they're doing. They're not sure. Their life is up in the air. This is where some of the good ones, my good converters, turn into like therapists. Oh, what's wrong? What's going on in your life where you don't know where you want to live? You have to have care and compassion, right? I need to sell before I buy, and I don't see anything I like. Oh, well, that process is super easy. Can I go over the process with you at the office of how we sell and buy and make it smooth and easy transition for you? We actually can make the closing the same day and at the same attorney office. Would that be something that appeals to you? Whoa, wow, how do I do that? And then boom, now you have a conversation. Great, let's talk about it more Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Or can I come to your house and look at it? So a lot of times I say, oh, a lot of people need to sell before they buy. How about, can I come to your house and just give you some tips on how to get it ready to sell? Free advice, no obligation. They're like, sure, come on over. My cousin is an agent. I love this one. Well, you get what you pay for. And would you want your family involved in your business? And what if it doesn't go well? Just saying. If you're giving your cousin the money because they do 1 or 2 deals a year, might not be good. So you always want to ask, how many homes does your cousin sell? I only want to talk to the listing agent. Okay. The reason why 90% of the people that ask us or say that is because there's only 32 states, I think, with buyer agency, right? And so the other states don't have buyer agency and they have to pay for their own agent. So typically when they come from these states, they think that they have to pay you, which they will soon, I'm sure. But right now, a lot of listings still offer a generous buyer's agency compensation if you're willing to accept what's on the MLS. And they say, I only want to talk to the listing agent. And you have to say, oh, I get it. You're from one of those states that probably has to pay for buyer agents. Well, the way I work is this is my fee. And if I get it from the listing, I'll make it. Or if you have to pay me, this is what my fee is. I never say it's a good idea to talk about your fees over the phone, but if they just shut you down with, I only want to talk to the listing agent, your only recovery is to try to educate them on buyer agency and how we typically recover our fees, at least in our area, right? We have been historically getting our fees from the listing agent company. So that's kind of a sore subject, I know right now, but I'm just saying, a lot of times they're just not educated about how the process works here. These are the do not do these things. Do not ever pull up the property in a call. Don't look up anything ever. If you do it, you're no better than someone reading off a menu. You're giving away all the thousands of dollars you pay for MLS and your license for free. You're a Google search as a person. Don't do it. Don't ask them if they spoke with a lender on the phone. It's none of your business. You should meet them first. Give them the audacity to meet with them. It's a nice thing to do. And then you can ask financial info, but you're actually supposed to be giving them the working with agents brochure anyway, right? Before you start asking financial info. I know some of you guys don't agree with me on that, and we can argue all day, but Zillow says they spent millions of dollars on research and they say don't ask, and it's worked out well for us. We also do not ask them directly if they are working with an agent. And some of you guys might be super mad because your client, or who you think is your client, that they forgot about you, said, call the Zillow rep or call Zillow to make an appointment for this home because I'm at the beach. Super rude, but agents do it. And we did not ask. And yes, we're taking a chance that we meet the prospect and we say, so are you working with an agent? And they say, well, yeah, I'm using somebody else. And you're like, well, why did you call me? Oh, well, I thought you were the listing agent, right? Or, my agent told me she's on vacation at the beach and she told me to call Zillow and make an appointment. She's not here. People do that. But guess how many times it actually happens? And a couple hundred leads a month, maybe once or twice, maybe once. Now, we do ask questions in the call that sort of uncover this without asking the direct question. We ask them, have you seen any other homes? Previously seen any other homes before our appointment Tuesday at 2 o'clock? And if they say yes, that kind of generally tells us they have been seeing homes with an agent. And then I might say, if you've been seeing homes with an agent, have you signed an agreement? So we're not trying to take your clients, but if they're calling to make an appointment without you, something's wrong. They're not really your client, not unless you have a signed agreement. You don't own people. So don't just book one appointment. Please book more than one house. Talk about things, and do not talk about things you're not qualified to talk about. Don't talk too much and not ask enough questions. Don't talk about yourself. They do not care about your accolades, how long you've been in real estate, and how many homes you've sold. They don't care. And don't wander on the call. Just keep it ALM, appointment, location, motivation. Ask the follow-up questions. Have you seen any other homes? What other homes would you like to see? You know, that kind of thing, and get off the call. Set the appointment. Okay, so you set the appointment. What's next? You're going to create rapport at the appointment. You want to get to know them in person. You really need to ask, this is the interview. This is where you are talking to them and trying to find out if you're a good fit with this buyer or seller or whatever it is. Are you a good fit? Do they want to transact now? Or is it 18 months from now? Did they lie to you over the phone, or did things change since you set the appointment? Do they have a lot of questions about financing? You talk to them. Have you talked to any lenders? What's happening? You know, what are you doing? What have you done so far? You know, what about this home? Do you like, do you not like? You really get to know their goals, and you ask all the follow-up questions you want to, everything, you know, get to know them, gauge their real motivation, and set your next steps. I never leave an appointment without saying, after we see the first, second, or third home, afterwards, I'm like, okay, great. I now know what you like, and these are not it. Okay, now that I know you a little better and we've had all this conversation and I've asked you 100 million questions, and I realize you need more of a yard and a bigger kitchen and whatever the case may be, I set the next steps to them. I tell them, I'm going to go back to my office right now and I'm going to change your search and I'm going to send you the right homes. And would you like to look again on Saturday? Always set the next appointment. That is a closing sales thing. Don't ever leave a showing without setting up the next steps. Or they might just ghost you after you open the door for them. If you didn't create enough rapport and you just open the door and you didn't ask any questions, you follow them around like a freako, like weird and sketchy, you're not doing a good job, and they're not gonna, there's no set next steps, and they feel weird after they get in their car and drive away. So be extremely clear, assuming you're working with them. Assume the agency. Make notes in your CRM. I also give them a packet at this appointment. You always give them the working with agents, a buyer agency, a blank one. If you want to get it signed, that's up to you. I don't necessarily get it signed at the first appointment, maybe the second or third appointment, or maybe when I make the offer, but I assume that they're going to work with me, and I don't necessarily make them sign a buyer agency piece of paper right away. I also make notes, change the status, set them up on the proper search, and we go forward, and I start keeping up with them weekly. When is the best time to make your calls in your database? Wednesday at 5 o'clock, Wednesday and Thursday. Typically 4 to 6, 3 to 6, maybe. You're not bothering people. Sometimes you'll get hung up on. Don't take it personal. So you guys have to change your mindset. If this is something new to you, you're going to have to time block. You are going to have to change your daily routine. You have to make it in this market and to add this pillar of business. You have to be consistent with the calls to your database. You have to be consistent with answering the leads. You can't just do it when you feel like it or when you have a minute, because this is a lot of follow-up. Remember, I told you it's almost like 30 calls a month, right? Per lead, if you're not getting in touch. And I know it sounds, highly committal. It's so much. However, it can be extremely lucrative. I made hundreds of thousands of dollars on just cherry picking internet leads myself as a solo agent. I just cherry picked and barely called consistently when I was a solo agent, and I still made hundreds of thousands of dollars. So even if you do a bad job with it, you're still probably going to make some money. So, as a team leader, my team leader life now, because I don't make all the calls. I do train and show agents on my team how to make the calls. And I actually am doing leads in Myrtle Beach. I'm taking 40 plus leads, I think, in a month. And I'm doing them myself, and I'm videoing these people, and I'm having my virtual assistant help me some. And I've already closed one home, and I've gotten 7 converted out of, I want to say, like 80 or 90 leads so far total, in a market that I just walked into. I've already closed a house that paid for the whole entire year's spend of pay-per-click ads for that market. So any referrals now, from now on out, I am just making profit. Repeat and measure. So you're listening to your own calls daily, if it's just you, or you're listening to your agent's calls. Inspect the first 10 days of how they're handling the lead and first 30 days of all leads most intensively. Obsess over average reach out attempts for your leads. You should be attempting your leads at least 20 times before you like throw it in the bucket or the pond. There's ponds in kvCORE. You can throw them in a pond and get them away from your screen so you don't have to look at them every day when you've reached out 20 times and they still haven't answered. Inspect that an agent is not just doing massive singular form contact attempts. Make sure they are calling and emailing and texting. So for me, recently, texting, video text, a 10-second or less, has been my superpower weapon. I get the lead, it comes in, I text them a video and I say, hey, Frank, this is Sandy McAlpine with Remax. You just connected with me on my website from Google for Myrtle Beach homes for sale. And I just want to make sure that the list of homes that I'm sending you is the right thing. Just let me know. And sometimes I look super gross. I have no makeup on. I just woke up, like whatever, and I just send it. And I get people to respond every single time. They're like, oh, I'm good. Thank you. Oh, I'm 4 months out. And then we start having a dialogue over text. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I love it. So listen, after you do all that, all those emails and texts and calls and everything, personally write an email every week. This guy says 2 emails every week, John Cheplack. Send them to your entire database. He runs the largest teams in the world, the #1 Remax team in the world. She writes 2 emails a week to her whole entire database. Email is free. It's free. And who cares if they don't open it and don't look at the open rate? It doesn't even matter because it's the people that do open it occasionally that are going to use you to buy and sell property, right? So if you have 30,000 leads in your database or 40,000 leads in your database, like I do, then you don't really care the open rate. You just don't care. You just don't even look at that. So send the emails and video. I know everybody tells you video. If you keep it to 10 seconds, 11 seconds tops, you're golden. It doesn't even have to be fancy. So what can kvCORE do for you? It can scrub the phone number, make sure it's real, which is awesome. You have the automatic drip campaigns. So when your leads get up to the hundreds and thousands, because you're also going to put your sphere, all your phone contacts in there, and you're going to keep up with all these people, including your sphere, you want them to get some automation because you can't be everywhere all the time. You have to be showing houses, writing contracts, taking care of your family, your kids, like whatever. Driving, you can't be doing all this when you're driving. So having all those automations at your fingertips expands your reach. That enables me to keep up with 1,200 people just in my own sphere and my own past clients. It's like 1,200 people. So on top of this, when you run all your contacts through these things, you got to make sure it's organized. If you need a virtual assistant to do this, to organize it for you, because it is overwhelming beyond belief, we have these services available. There's so many services of people that you can hire to do this for you for super cheap. So if you need that, reach out to me. I'll hook you up. Run pay-per-click ads. So kvCORE, I'm going to share my screen in a minute. You can run Google pay-per-click ads. It's a minimum spend of $750 a month. It's amazing. Do you know why? They're almost as good as Zillow leads. Because when somebody types in Google, they type Providence Country Club homes for sale, Valentine Resort homes for sale, or whatever. That ad pops up. They click on the ad. They start searching your website. They put in their information. That is 100% a true intent. They went online and purposely, they weren't just clicking around for fun and landed on a landing page to try to view more photos. They actually typed in something that they want to buy. That's a pretty high up on the intent. So they are not expensive. They're actually pretty cheap. I think mine are running between $12 and $19 a piece. So that is a gift I'm giving you guys today. It's super easy to set up. You could also run Facebook ads. Those are the ones that people are on Facebook already and they're kind of clicking around, and you might get some non-intent people just messing around to see more photos, but you still get their information. They're still opted in, and we still do close Facebook ad leads. Remarketing. This is the beauty of kvCORE. Wouldn't you want all of your own database, your 1,200 contacts, 2,000 contacts, all your past clients to see your own ads? You want them to see your ads. Why would they not want to see your ads? You want to stay top of mind. You're already doing a horrible job of keeping up with your sphere because you're busy out selling new clients, writing around properties, showing homes, writing contracts. If you're not doing client events and you're not doing mailers and you're not calling them every single quarter, someone else is going to call your client or they're going to go on Zillow. So do retargeting, remarketing through kvCORE. It's not expensive. It's like pennies per person. Super weird. It's like maybe dollars for the year for one person. Follow-up is tracked on kvCORE. Touches are tracked. You can see your return on your investment of what you're spending. You can see your conversion rates. You can see how many calls and dials it takes you to convert a lead. This is intense, you guys. Like, it's so much more than you ever thought. And I know a lot of you don't know. So before I share my screen on the kvCORE, I wanted to give you a little bit of my information. I am available. Here is a YouTube video that deep dives into this as well on the bottom of the screen. I think I can try to put it in the chat box. It's an old YouTube video on Remax Executive, maybe 3 or 4 years old, that we did a crush and convert before the last one. And it goes more into what you say on the call. But I did want to give you my contact info. If you want to probably leave me a message, I imagine my phone might blow up a little bit today. I will personally go over what's going on in your business, in your pipeline, where you're at, what needs to happen, and help assist you and lead you in the right direction, consult you on how to get a B-fee system like we have, to where we're closing consistently, 150, 100, I hope 180 transactions this year. We already this year surpassed, with the same amount of people in the sales as 2022, I have the same amount of people actually selling homes this year, and we've already surpassed what we sold last year. We are not slow. We're slow in a way, but not slow like some of the other people in our company. So I know that some of you guys need help. This is the way to fill in the gaps and the holes in your business. Let's see, I want to be able to share my screen onto the kvCORE website. Okay, so kvCORE, can you guys see this?
Yep.
Okay. So here is the kvCORE CRM. You can see that I have 338 pages of leads, right? This isn't even all my leads. I'm using Followup on steroids, which is a very similar product as kvCORE right now. I will transition over at some point, but I had prepaid up for the whole year. And I have a lot of integrations going. So it's going to take a little while for me to move a lot of users over to the new system. However, it's almost identical, you guys, to what I'm using now. And it's free and it's awesome. And there's so many like cool plugins and things. But here are all your leads. You can see how many activities, emails, calls, and text that each person gets, right? And it shows you can do a mass email, mass text, you can do a video message to all these people, more actions. You can add hashtags to separate all your people. You can put some people and add the hashtag Christmas party. So my hashtag Christmas party is all the people that I love and would invite to my Christmas party and my past clients that I really enjoy being with. And I can specifically print address labels, mail them, send them voicemails. I can drop voicemails right into their phone without ever calling them. So I can wish them all Merry Christmas, like 1,200 people at the same time. I can add a search alert for each one. I can share contacts, share my V card, add more hashtag. I mean, whatever you want to do. You can put sellers and buyers separately. There's so much you can do. It's almost overwhelming, but please don't get overwhelmed. Just do the easy thing and just load up your contacts and go from there. How you run the pay-per-click ad is go to Marketplace, go straight to the Marketplace home screen. It's not Property Boost. It's not seller leads. It's not social leads. It's not Nosy Neighbor. It's Google PPC right here. Google PPC. I'm going to move my cursor over it so you guys can all see. Google PPC. Click on it. Managed service. I want to say it's $750 minimum. You create targeted ads that show on Google. Do you guys see the Google screen right here? Targeted ads for people that are typing in specific home searches. And these are Google pay-per-click, and they also go in their email. The ads are on the side of the email. They follow them. They put cookies on these people's computer and follow them all over the place, these ads. Super crazy and high. Like, you can also do the remarketing. It's great. So in this, you can also do Nosy Neighbor. That's the one on the top right. Nosy Neighbor, a little more expensive. I want to say it's $800 a month or more, depending on the zip code. Whoever gets your zip code first owns it. I bought 28031, which is Cornelius. I am sending out 300 postcards. Well, I'm not. They are sending out 300 postcards a month to people they think are going to sell based on, 200 some odd data points. They are also getting retargeted, remarketed, and seeing all my ads every single month, everywhere, all over Google and everything. And they're getting postcards mailed to them with QR codes. And when they put their information in, I get their information. So I have people who have intent to sell. This is another program. All these leads flow into kvCORE, and then you can text them and email and video them, and hey, and you can pop by their home and leave a nice card box with all your stuff in it and your listing presentation if they're not home, whatever you want to do. Nosy Neighbor also gives you like a ton of tools on how to be really effective with that program. They don't want you to not get any listings. They want you, one listing will pay for the whole year. So why not? So these are just some of the things. Look at how many tiles there are. This stuff is, there's so much. And don't try to do it all. Don't get too excited. Don't get crazy. Be good at one thing or two things, right? If you're going to add something to your business, you want to just start with one thing at a time. Don't go out and spend, say, Sandy told me to spend $4,000 a month and I don't know what I'm doing. Don't do it. I've had people do that before and they're like, they called Zillow or something and Zillow told them I told them to spend $1,000 a month, and then they went and spent $5,000 a month, and then they blamed it all on me because they couldn't convert anything. And Zillow's really good at selling you leads, or, realtor.com or any of those. So please don't fall into the trap. Make sure that you get good at a few leads first before you buy the whole entire basket of leads. Like, don't get too excited until you start doing well with it. Track your return, your conversion rate, track it. Just give it like 3 or 4 months before you start making huge changes too. Every time you change something, you can't really measure because you keep changing. So that's kind of what I have for today. There's no way I could do this for 2 hours. I wanted to. I know I went really fast for some people. This is recorded, and I know you probably don't want to watch a whole hour of this, but you'll be able to, go back through it and go to the parts that you wanted to see over again. And I have all these slides also. I can share the slides with you if you want. I shared it with Haley, so she has the whole presentation. I know some of this is really high level for some of you. For some other of you, you're like, wow, this looks so easy. And if that's the case, why not do it? This is why we're still busy, and I want to help all of you, especially my Remaxers that are on here. There's also other people that are not Remax on here. Super excited to have you guys. Thank you so much for attending. So does anyone have any questions about anything?
I have a question. What would your advice be to agents who are introverts in regards to making the 100 phone calls a day?
You have to get over it. Ricky Caruth, he used to be Remax Diamond like 7, 8 years in a row. The dude used to live in his car and he worked in an oil rig and he had a drinking problem. And he said this, he was Remax Diamond for years and years and years and years. He had to get over the phone call reluctance. You have to train yourself to get over it. I was not good on the phones. I hated talking on the phone. I was scared to death to call these people. I mean, you just have to get over it. And then after you make like 1,000 phone calls, then if you're still having a problem, we need to figure out what it is. But after that, you're a pro. You're like, whatever, these people can hang up or not, or what. I mean, at some point you're just like, wow, it's the same thing with showings. Your first showing, your second showing, your 10th showing might be scary, right? Your first contract, your first anything. So when these people are not used to making calls, when the agents are not used to making phone calls, they get tongue tied. Put ALM on so one of, like on a piece of paper at your desk. One of the agents on my team, she's so cute. Her name's Haley. She put an ALM bracelet. And then I think she put something after the M. It was survey, ALMS. because she said at the end, oh, hey, Zilla's going to get you a survey. Is there any reason why you can't give me 5 stars today? So she was acing the survey and had an awesome work with rate. And she had a little bracelet on to remind her to stay on track. So whatever needs to happen, I mean, we're all not like experts, right? I mean, I'm just used to doing it, and I probably made hundreds of thousands of phone calls in my career. So it does come to mind quickly for me, and I'm able to pivot when people try to block me in the phone call and stonewall me. I'm able to pivot and recover. Sometimes, you might have a bad call and just hang up. Just hang up, but don't let it disappoint you. Shake it off. Stand up, walk around, drink a cup of coffee, go back.
As Bob Stanley said, consistency is better than perfection. That's great, Bob. Does anyone have any other questions for Sandy? I didn't see anything in the chat other than lots of thank yous.
Was this helpful? Like, for any of you, did you guys learn a lot? I mean, I have talked about this so much with my team members, and they have to be nice to me. But honestly, I want real feedback. I'm just kidding. I want real feedback. Did you guys learn anything? Was I detailed enough is what I'd like to know. Or was it too much of an overview? Or what? You guys tell me. Or was there a portion that I didn't go over that you wish I did? And so maybe for next time I can add it.
Sherry said that you showed the importance of follow-up. Caroline and Tula thought that you did a great job. I have another question, Sandy. So when you were going over your scripts, at any point in your career, did you have written out answers to clients' objections that you would like read during the calls?
Yeah, so we did flashcards at my team meeting with objections, and the answers were on the back, right? And I got them from another Remax Elite Club agent, and it's really nice. Mike Ferry and also has all of the objections for free on his website. So Tom Ferry also has them somewhere on Google, and Veryl Workman gives them for free. He had summer 2022 objections. They are still relevant today. I handed them out as packets in my meeting, and he's not even my coach. You can get a common objection handling online, but if you guys want, I'll send Haley some of the materials that I give my team, because you've got to practice it. We do role playing once a month for my team, and we sit and we play the calls, which is so nerve-wracking. I know my agents probably some of them really love it because they're like, wow, I sounded really good, or I sounded really bad. But we play good calls and bad calls, and then everyone on the team gets to critique what could have been done better on the bad calls, obviously. And the good calls, the agents that are not as experienced get to hear a good call, and they're like, oh, okay, that's smooth. That sounded really good. Okay, I need to sound like that. So it's always better when you can actually practice handling the objections, and it's not so new. Like, it just doesn't take you off. So we all get taken off guard. I highly recommend to my team, please do not answer the calls when you're driving or when you're in the grocery store or distracted, because we can tell, because when we're listening to your recording, you completely forgot AOM and half of the stuff went out the window and the client controlled the call, and you could hear that they were in the grocery store in the background or something. And it's just like, please try not to do all this stuff when you're doing something else, because you're not going to be very good.
Caroline said that she's never heard anyone tell exactly how they do it. So that was very helpful for her. Carlene said it's time consuming to get started, so come to a stall. And she says, thank you for the motivation, Sandy.
I try. And I have, I'll show you guys, it's a little, so I've had lead sources for the last 18 years, Google pay-per-click and everything else. I don't know if I can log in here, but let me see if I can move yes, I can. So I can show you guys a little bit about what our database looks like, and it can be overwhelming at times. But we have reports in here where we can see that we're down on our contact attempts. It's horrible. This is average, industry average. We should be at 20, but we have a lot of people dump their phone leads in here. But we have 39 appointments set in the next 30 days. We have a lot of reporting. There's reporting tabs, just like kvCORE. We have agent activities. We have appointments set. These are 36,000 emails went out in the last 30 days, 2,370 texts. This is high level touch for real. I know, like, but this is what you have to do. Look at 423 appointments. We have people's calls, texts, leaderboards. We have people that are, you can tell who's making, this guy has 4 hours and 3 minutes, Jay on my team, of calls this month. So they're trying really hard. They're trying to reach out. You can see right now, without the trash pond, we have 31,843 people we're cooking from all different types of sources. kvCORE, Ylopo, Realtor.com, AdWords, Facebook. It's a numbers game. And like I said, not everybody is ready. So you really want to focus on, the people that are ready to go. And you have to have a lot of people cooking and nurturing in your cauldron or your pond or whatever you want to call it until they finally raise their hand. But you can't just wait for them to call you. You still have to do all these reach out attempts. And I'm not sugarcoating it. I am trying to be realistic with you guys. It's lots of contact attempts, but as you notice, my team only has an average of 4 and we're still rocking it. But could we sell another 100 homes a year if we were making 20 plus outreaches? Maybe. I can't make people make more contacts. They have to do what they want to do. Having a team is like having a family. You can't make your family members always do what's good for them. That's why a lot of teams have virtual assistants and internal sales associates to be making the calls, because they're making 80 to 100 calls a day in appointment setting. But what that does is that takes more money out of my team members' pocket. I can't afford to pay more employees. So if they don't want to make the calls and we have to pay someone to make the calls, then they have to take less of a split. In my opinion, that's how I would run things. But right now we're not ready for that. But when the hungry agents on my team want to make more money, they just make more phone calls, and the calls correlate to the money every single time.
So I don't see any other questions. Thank you again, Sandy, for hosting this. And I will post this on YouTube, and then I'll also post it in our private Facebook group for anyone who wants to rewatch it.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
Oh, and for folks, keep an eye out for an invitation link to our agent goal setting panel. Sandy is moderating it. It is on November 3rd at 2 p.m. And she will be interviewing 4 or 5 of our top agents about how they set goals, keep themselves accountable, run their teams, and stuff like that.
Well, what's so great about the agent panel that we're doing, I'm bringing back a series that I used to do a few years ago in person. If you guys want to talk to or see a $500,000 producer, $1 million and up producer, and a $2 million up producer, not only individual ones, but a couple team ones, we'll have the panel of these agents that are Remax Elite, basically. We're going to ask them how they became elite and what are the daily things they do every day to get to that status. Like how we're going to deep dive into their business and what they do that has made them successful to get to that level. And it is so interesting. Everyone does their business completely different. And it is so cool. And someone up on that panel will resonate with you. So I highly encourage you guys to attend that, because it'll be so eye-opening. And some people do things that are so simple that you can incorporate in your business, and you guys will just be amazed. It's awesome. I love those panels, and I have all the questions ready to go. And I know I saw the list of people that are going to be doing it, and you guys are going to be so excited. You've always wanted to know what that big person in your office, how they did it, how they got those luxury listings. You're going to find out.
All righty, guys. Thank you again, Sandy, and thank you everyone for being here. And we will see you, I guess, at the October company update next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.